Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to Gaming. My name is Bill, I'm the angry autistic asshole, and today I'm jumping back into my playthrough of the Outer Worlds Space's Choice Edition, so let's get into it. Just get everything switched over. I've been having a few random malfunctions, so we'll have to see how this goes. Yeah, cross fingers. Yes. Chairman Rockwell. It's high time we had a conversation.
Well, look who it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be damned. I was prepping the studio for our announcement, and here you are as a bonus.
Mm.
And I see you've brought the kid along. Babysitters may be expensive, but they're worth it, you know.
Yeah, keep talking, pal. I'll just keep thinking of a place to bury your body.
Ah, and the wayward doctor. Are you about done with your escapades? We have faces that need lifting, after all.
These days, I'm more interested in breaking them. Wouldn't mind taking a swing at yours.
Heh.
When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'll want it recognizable to show to my citizens.
Yeah, about that. Chairman Rockwell, I presume.
My word! You've correctly identified the most recognizable man in the colony.
Oh, you're dying.
Remarkable. It's a wonder what Phineas saw in you. Then again, he's an insane person. Thankfully, he's our insane person now. A proper company man.
What? Please, Phineas would rather die than cooperate.
Yes, he is an extraordinarily obstinate fellow, isn't he? Fine, he isn't working for us per se. Semantics, he'll come around.
Right.
But that's between us. As far as my adoring citizens will know, we've turned a dangerous crackpot into a working-class man. It's a miracle.
Yeah, about that. That crackpot is saving the frozen colonists you gave up on.
Oh yes, go on, wake them up, add more mouths to feed. That'll solve our starvation problems. I don't know what half-baked plans that simpleton in a lab coat has been leading you through, but it's done. It's over.
Right.
Let me ask you something, Captain. Have you at any point thought about not fucking up our entire society?
Have you?
Are you kidding me? We're out here trying to clean up your mess.
I'm making actual progress towards stabilization and recovery. You're just getting in the way.
Freezing the colony is not going to help. You still need to eat. Freezing all the colonists that feed you is not going to help. Yeah, I wouldn't have to if you'd be more cooperative about this. You know, thought honestly hadn't crossed my mind. I'm just trying to help. You'd prefer to keep riding this downward spiral? I can fix this place.
If I and my people can ride it out in luxury and happiness, yes, I would. I don't know if you've noticed, Captain, but Halcyon's pretty much a lost cause.
Wow, well, you've given up on that, yeah. Already rallied Byzantium against you, it's only a matter of time. With your resources and some of the folks on the Hope, we could do a lot. Then you need my help? No, I am not sure which one of these to go with. Probably persuade would be. I don't want to help him at all. I want him to die. So, I've already rallied Byzantium against you. It's only a matter of time.
You have? Is that what you were doing at the Ministry?
Yes.
Look, I'm not an unreasonable man.
Ha!
If you manage to storm the castle, as it were, and make it out of here with Phineas alive, I can't exactly afford more havoc than you've already caused. Fine. If you survive, you'll need someone to sell the rest of the board on your plan.
Right.
Are you out of your mind? Rockwell's the biggest monster in Halcyon. You got any idea how many lives he's destroyed? How many people he's hurt? I've had enough. You even think about cooperating with this animal? And you and I are finished.
I wasn't going to. What? Where did that come from? I was lying to his face. And you know I was lying to his face. Oh my goodness. Your loyalty is worth more than Rockwell's subservient. I still want to shoot this guy in the face.
You're damn right it is.
Yes.
If If you're gonna place more faith on this brat than the chairman of the fucking colony, then there's no hope for you. Go get yourself killed.
How about you?
On safety manual.
Smooth. And of course, Chairman Rockwell's the toughest guy in here, isn't he? I'm more than a little confused
Someone else will clean this up, right?
as to why my accuracy was terrible against an unmoving man, but whatever. How did that piss off Felix? Whatever. Maybe Felix isn't as perceptive as I would like to think he might be. Right, okay. Well, if that's not if that wasn't a body double, I'll be disappointed. As a reminder to Labyrinth employees, access to secure data is a fireable offence. Furthermore, being fired from the Labyrinth staff is punishable by life in prison. Ha! Cameras! Jim, I'm trying to get straight with Akande's orders. Only a few things more from my end, but I don't know what we'll do about cameras. She says security footage ain't enough. They want proper rules. What's going on? Alright, camera. She's bringing in a VIP for internment. Security's ramping up too. Sorry for the inconvenience. It's a fine mess down here. Said something about recording an announcement. They're all overly excited. It's hush hush, but I guess the VIP's been on the run for a while. Bet the engineers have a few cameras. I'll see if I can track them down. Appreciate it. You know her. We miss a check on this list. It's our heads. You have no idea how tough it was getting a fucking green top. Ha! Yeah. Useful there. No. Right, okay. So. I drop save. Yoink. Yoink. Well, there's really any point being in a strict area. How do you just unconfuse all that? Anything useful? No. Heavy ammo, sure, why not? And up we go.
Alright, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help.
Hey!
So get in there and fight! Watch out!
Nice. Well, that teeny little colony helping us out. Teeny little colony that took ages to get them to realise that they were going to starve without the help of the people outside the colony. Outside their colony. Oop, that's friendly. Sorry.
Everyone alright?
Ooh. Hi guys. Awesome. Right. Okay. Just betting that this goes down. If we do that, let's see if we can go this way. Can we go this way? No. This might be the way out. Bunk. Ooh, loot. 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 Some ammo, but ammo is good. Loot. Loot. Yay!
What?
Hello there. Enjoy Henry.
Whatever it was.
Heh. That's somewhat concerning. Well, it's nice that it gives you plenty of options to change your mind as to how you're handling the whole colony is collapsing problem. Yeah, we be the good guys.
You, ain't feeling jittery, are you? 'Cause I'm not.
Hope you're right about this, Captain.
We shall find out.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life.
Yep.
You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty.
I despise good people being left to starve and suffer. We're liberating Halcyon, and there's not a damn thing you can do to stop us.
Do you imagine you're leading some grand revolutionary army?
Yes.
The iconoclasts and MSI have put aside their differences and attacked the prison together. I never imagined such a thing would be possible. But here we are. You're nothing but a rabble-rouser. I'm going to put an end to your little rebellion. And then I'm going to have you and your associates arrested.
Come get us. Halcyon's changing the ball controls. Good on you staying optimistic in your final moments.
I have no intention of dying on Tartarus, Captain. Not when there's so much work left to do. I admit I miscalculated the extent of your influence. The board's plan never accounted for you. This is a mistake I intend to correct. I have Dr. Wells in my custody. Once I've secured his cooperation, I can move forward with the program. I can repair the damage you've done. I can set things right.
Sure. Don't test me, Sophia. It's bad for your health.
I'm aware of your propensity for violence. Halcyon is a bloodier place because of you. I take no pleasure in this, you know. I simply have no other option. Leaving you alive is too great a risk. Goodbye, Captain.
I'm rescuing Phineas. I'm going through you if I have to.
I had a feeling you'd say that. This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and rinse your remains down a drain.
Oh.
And don't worry. I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically, or something.
Right. That can't be it. That can't be all that's here.
Real slick.
Wouldn't have been able to attack it anyway. Alright. Sprunk. Riot automechanical. Ram is online. Designate Ram as a hostile intruder. Works for me. Okay, that is a larger than average water mechanical, but and tougher than average water mechanical, but there we go. Combination chamber key. Excellent. Not bad for someone with robophobia. Robophobia. Okay. Anything useful in any of these nooks and crannies? Sealed. Excuse me a moment, I'm looting. Or at least attempting to. Now, just need to check something. Yeah. Oh, seems to be going good. Okay, cool. Alright. So, yeah, nice Warden automake you had. Shame I happened to it. Well, my two companions, the rest of the security. Let's, change this up. Useful down here, is this just another... Okay, that's... might be our escape route. It's probably our escape route. But I must escape loot. Never mind. Right, somewhere around here. Somewhere around here is the big explosion as her and Phineas get launched off into space, right?
That's the last of them!
Never fucking mind.
Get me out of here!
Working on it. That was upsettingly easy. Is it a trap?
You don't know how glad I am to see you.
Happy to help.
You did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough.
You alright? What did they do to you? Yeah.
I'm all right, thanks to you. Akande wanted my cooperation. I'm quite sure she would have beaten it out of me if you hadn't arrived. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
Yeah. Don't like the sound of that at all. Great in here, I was just about to pop over some drinks and celebrate. Don't like the sound of that at all.
Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing.
Huh.
2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Hold on, Doc. Are you telling me the Earth went dark 3 years ago, and the board's just been covering this up?
They've been incredibly effective at concealing the truth. Right now, the only people in the colony who know are standing in this room.
They haven't exactly been hands-on around here anyway. So there's one less rubber stamp to worry about.
Worse than that.
Earth is humanity's home planet, Miss Fenhill. The psychological effects of losing our original home will be devastating. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
Shit. We have a lot of work. Hold on, I need to ask you something.
Yes, certainly. I'll help however I can.
What are we gonna do? What do you think happened?
I don't know what happened, but something must have gone horribly wrong. I don't know why Earth's gone silent. I don't even know if Earth exists anymore. We have no connection back to Earth, and return is likely impossible. We're completely alone out here.
Shit. How'd you know all this?
I heard it from Akande herself. She tried to pressure me into joining her side, you see. Tried to make me realize that all hope is lost, and that we are alone. She was half right. We are alone, and we're going to have to fend for ourselves, because there's no telling what's happened to Earth.
You mentioned a frigate disappearing.
You might have heard of the Earth Directorate's frigate. Half the colony's entire military was on that ship. They were returning to Earth when they vanished without a trace. That was 2 years ago. We haven't heard a word from them since. Whatever happened to Earth likely happened to them.
You said there haven't been any new messages from Earth?
Yes, Akande mentioned as much. Earth hasn't sent us a single message in 3 years. No one knows why. Akande had kept the truth to herself, perhaps with good reason. Can you imagine what would have happened if word got out? We'd have utter pandemonium.
Yeah, we already have utter pandemonium. Relay station near Scylla hadn't picked up any unencrypted messages in 3 years.
Yes, you were the one who reactivated that relay station, weren't you? Any message from Earth would have arrived unencrypted. It's been 3 years since our last message. The board tried using drones to contact Earth. Every one of those drones sent back the same encrypted message. Earth is completely silent.
Okay. Something else. I know about the other colonists, Phineas.
I wasn't trying to hide the truth from you, but after all you've done, I owe you an explanation. Yes, I experimented on the Hope's colonists. Each of my experiments ended in catastrophic failure. Each of my subjects died in agony. You are my first and only success. I didn't tell you about the others because I didn't want to burden you. My failures are my own to bear, not yours.
I forgive you, Phineas.
Thank you. Perhaps in time I'll learn to forgive myself.
Perhaps.
My apologies. I need to get a hold of myself. We've far more pressing issues to worry about right now. If you have any more questions, ask me. I'll answer as best I can.
No, I think that's about it. Hey, Wolforia, how's it going? Let me just get you a quick shout out. How are you doing? How's things? Sorry. There we go. No more questions.
Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
Wait. Okay. Hey, Pinkie Pie, how's it going? You can count on me. I'll help you revive the other colonists. Just come back from watching close, so chilling. Fair enough, skis? Yeah, I'm doing alright, thanks. Yeah, just about awake, give or take. Somebody has to run this colony. I'm the only competent person left. You can count on me. I'll help you revive the other colonists.
When I revived you, I thought you were going to help me save this colony. I was wrong.
Heh.
I had our roles reversed, you see. You're the one who's going to save us all. I'm just the one who set you on your path. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
Wait, that wasn't the end of the game, was it?
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together.
Whoops.
The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide McDevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away and likely died in starvation.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established town. Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse. A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Even the Gorgon asteroid, though a distant enigma to most of Halcyon, felt the aftershocks of your actions. Olivia and Minnie Ambrose worked together to cure the marauders Adrena Time had created. Through their partnership as scientist and administrator, they discovered the harmony that had eluded them as mother and daughter. And through years of patience and effort, they discovered the means to wean Halcyon from the scourge of Adrena Time. Their work eventually allowed Wells and his scientists to treat many of Halcyon's marauders. As their addiction waned, the colonists who had lived for so long under the thrall of Adrena Time returned to their communities and loved ones, and joined in the effort to save Halcyon. In spite of everything, the Gorgon asteroid remained a sobering reminder of the potential for progress and disaster in humanity's most ambitious efforts. The Rizzo's company in Halcyon dissolved after the collapse of the board. Needless to say, the launch of Spectrum Brown was indefinitely delayed. A stockpile of Spectrum Brown remains buried deep beneath the ruins of the old distillery, abandoned to time and attrition. With the dissolution of the board, Ruth Bellamy found herself without the two constants in her life: Byzantine culture and her sister Belinda. In the face of this new reality, she struggled to find a direction for her life. The colony had moved on from Halcyon Helen and would require new heroes in the years to come. And so Ruth Bellamy decided it was time to exit stage left. She quietly disappeared from public view. The dissolution of the board did not mean the dissolution of the ambitions of Cedric Kincannon, the charismatic leader of Sublight Underground. Cedric offered slugs transportation services to the newly thawed colonists and set to work ferrying resources and food wherever they were most needed. For better or worse, slug headgear became fashionable in the following years. As the board began to disintegrate, Spencer Woolrich found himself at a crossroads. Cling to what little stardom remained to him, or help usher Halcyon into its new future. To the surprise of many, perhaps himself most of all, Spencer chose the latter option. Having learned a variety of different skills in the many different roles played throughout his lengthy career, Spencer founded a radio serial dedicated to staying alive despite the odds. His subjects included how to survive violent encounters with only grazing wounds, dispense pithy one-liners for tense scenarios, and, of course, how to look good doing both.
Of course.
After a brief attempt at dating Helen as one person rather than two, which both Bertie and Helen found too strange, Bertie struck out on his own to try his hand at raising woolly cows. Many of his former Rangers teammates soon followed, accompanied by the woolly cow the team had originally plied with alcohol. The dairy farm thrived under Bertie's leadership and care.
Nice.
The Dairy Rangers privately believed that the woolly cows softened Bertie's temper considerably, although the only one brave enough to say this to his face was promptly headbutted. Due to the board's dissolution, many of the Prophet's old customers no longer found quite the same value in productivity seminars that they once had. With her business drying up, the Prophet chose to take her followers down a new path. Months later, salvagers on Eridanos found clues leading them to a seemingly abandoned bunker out in the wilderness. Inside, they discovered horribly mangled corpses, sacrificed to a blood-scrawled portrait of a sprat-headed deity. The Prophet was not among the bodies.
That's concerning.
Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. sometimes.
Ha!
With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal.
Nice.
Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony.
Mm.
Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands.
Mm-hmm.
As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace.
Nice.
Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed.
Heh.
The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name, and in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart.
Excellent.
Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail, or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past, and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. Dr. Wells was able to revive many more scientists and engineers than he first expected, thanks to the additional batch of chemicals you stole from the Ministry. Wells never forgot about the human lives that were lost in acquiring these chemicals. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony.
Excellent.
Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you? The unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon. Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you.
Yay!
No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Well, okay then. I guess that's the end of The Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition. Yeah, I wasn't certain exactly how close to the end I was when I ended last time, but I thought there would be a bit more than that. I thought there'd be a lot more of a boss fight than one auto mech with a riot shield. Yeah, that game suddenly went all very rapid finish. That was language, well done, Bill. That came to an end suddenly. That didn't feel paced properly. But there we go. It be done. So, well, what are my thoughts on that then? It's a better game than Starfield, but that's not really a high bar. I didn't enjoy the gunplay. The combat was awkward. It didn't ever feel like it flowed nicely. So that was something of a, not so much a struggle, but just a negative against it. Hey, Silence, yes, we need more one-liners, absolutely. Yeah, but the characters were a lot better written than Starfield, obviously. Again, not really very high bar. The story was decent, but the whole end-stage capitalism, work your fingers to the bone for the reward of bony fingers, it lost its humour in Edgewater, and considering we spent, aside from the DLC, probably half the game in Edgewater, in and around Edgewater, it felt like, there was, yeah, it wore thin for me quite quickly. But maybe I'm just too much of a raging socialist, and chaotic good. But yeah, the characters were good. Characters were more than one tragic event and how to get into bed with me. So that's always a good thing. You know, they had lives of their own, opinions of their own, friends and family of their own, which, you know, not every companion in every game has, so that was good. So, yeah, good and bad. Well, thank you for joining me for this.